using the buyer and supplier home pages. So let's go into Oracle Fusion Cloud Supplier Qualification Management. There I'm going to show you the user interface from the buyer and then the supplier's perspective. Alright, so here I am in Oracle Fusion Cloud. So what I'm going to do first is, you see, this is the dashboard for buyer. So how I have come here, I've logged in as the procurement manager. Then from the navigator, I have drilled down to procurement menu, and within that the last hyperlink is supplier qualification. So I've clicked on that, and then it has led me to this particular dashboard. And this I've explained you previously, the meaning of each of these areas which are displayed over here on the dashboard. And if you wish to get into more details, you can literally click on these hyperlinks that are shown right next to the individual areas. For example, 7 qualifications are ready for evaluation and 1 assessment is ready for evaluation. So if I click on these 7 qualifications, it's going to show me all those 7 qualifications over here. You see, these are the different qualifications which are ready for evaluation. You can see the statuses over here. Likewise, if I go back to overview and if I click on this one assessment which is ready for qualification, it's going to take me over there, right? And then if I click on this particular assessment, you see its status is ready for evaluation, and here I can see more details about this particular assessment. You see, as soon as I clicked on that one, this evaluate for assessment button got enabled. Can you see that? And if I click on this evaluate for assessment, here you can complete the evaluation side of things. So let's go here, and you see one by one you can click on this, and you see the start date and finish date is expired. So possibly that could be the reason why it's not letting us evaluate a particular qualification. If this had been active, then we could have used this evaluate qualification button to evaluate it. You see, here are the questions, and you can always requalify from here, and you can view the qualification history right from here. So I'm not going to go into the details of this one at the moment. Basically my idea was to show you how you can requalify, and here you can finalize your evaluation by clicking on this one. Okay, so I'm going to show you all that a little while later as a part of this course. Now that's how you can drill down into further details right from the dashboard. And if you wish to see all the qualification or assessment related initiatives, you can simply go to manage initiatives, wherein it will list down both the qualification initiatives as well as assessment initiatives. But if you want to see a different form for qualification initiative and a different form for assessment initiative, then those forms are also provided over here. So if you open this one, for example, this particular initiative, financial and commercial viability, here you can see what kind of an initiative it is. So this is a qualification initiative. So if you click on done, you can also see other details. For example, this one, green RJK, and you can see this is also a qualification initiative. Likewise, you can have assessment initiatives also, but assessment initiatives could be fewer than qualification initiatives, because one assessment initiative can have multiple qualifications embedded into that. Okay, so I'm going to come out of this, all these forms first, and then one by one I'm going to go and take you through the forms. So you see, if I go into the manage qualifications, this is where I'm going to see my qualification related. data over here. Okay, so if I click on this one, this qualification, I can always update these questions and add more questions if I like. Here you can see more information about this particular qualification, right? And the response received, click on this one. Okay, and you can edit the qualification from here. You can view the qualification history from here. Okay, so that was about all the qualifications that are there in the system presently. So that was the form we were looking at. All right, now likewise you can also go into all the assessments which are presently there in the system. So there is presently only one assessment running in the background, which is this one, and the present status, it's ready for evaluation. Okay, then here you can manage the questionnaire which are attached to either the qualification or assessments within the qualifications. Okay, so if you click on this particular questionnaire, you can see the details of the questions and their associated progress from the supplier's end. Okay, so within one question you can have within one questionnaire you can have multiple sections. So this is what it is showing as section wise details over here, and each section can have one or more than one questions within that, and it's not necessary that all questions are responded by the supplier. They can be responded by internal team members as well, and those internal team you can define it as well as a part of your initiative. Okay, and here is a place you can define your questions. So you see, either you can define and pull up an existing question, or you can simply define a new question by clicking on this particular plus icon. You see it's for create. You can give a question title over here, the question text over here, and then you can specify whether a response is required and who is the responder, whether it's supplier or internal. And then you can also list down the acceptable responses over here. You can also specify whether there is a scoring associated with this question. So scoring here, it is presently none. You can say manual scoring or automatic scoring, and if at all it's automated scoring, then you've got to specify your score associated with each of the acceptable responses over here. Okay, so likewise you can define your question, and once you define your question, you can have them attached to what you call as a questionnaire area, which is over here. So one questionnaire area can have multiple predefined questions within that. So if I open this compliance one, you can see it will have multiple questions right in this particular tab. As you could see, 2 questions. You can also add more questions. Can you see that? Select and add. So if I click on this one, I can always select a question and add it. And I think I have to specify some details over here, some search criteria. Okay, you see I just specified S, and it is showing me all the questions starting with S and all the question text starting with S. Can you see that? And if I want to include this particular question, I say click on this one and then hit the apply button, and new questions will be added right here. Can you see that? Audit completion date, it's something we have just added. Okay, and for example, if you change your mind and if you wish to remove this particular question, you can use this functionality to remove it. Okay, likewise, and then you can hit the save or save and close button once you're done with this particular qualification area. So basically qualification area can contain multiple questions, and the then that qualification area you can attach it to a qualification, okay, or an assessment. And here you've got qualification model. So for example, sustainability assessment. If you go on in this one, you can attach multiple qualification areas in a qualification model. So there is a one-to-many relationship in terms of qualification management versus the qualification area. For example, if I wish to add one more qualification area, I click on this plus icon. So apart from sustainability, I want to have something related to environmental things. So environmental questionnaire, I hit apply, then hit the OK button, and you see the environmental questionnaire has just come up. And you can drill down further from here to see the question branching. So question branching is something like related questions, and based on answer of one question you can pose more questions to the supplier. Okay, so that's what you call it as a question branching, and you can see the question details and associated branching right from here. So basically that's the buyer's perspective of supplier qualification management. So just like the buyer's one, you have the supplier's perspective as well. So for that you've got to log in the supplier's portal. So you've got to basically log out from this particular user and log in as the supplier portal user. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to log out from here and log in as one particular supplier user associated with a big supplier like Dell or GE. So let me try with this particular user called as Noah Gill. This is associated with Dell computers. Alright, and here I'm gonna simply navigate to supplier portal. And as you could see here, you can see the qualifications over here. So questionnaire, view qualifications for this particular supplier. So click on that one, and if at all there are any qualification which are something in which the supplier has been invited, that will be listed over here. Okay, so presently there are none of the assessments which are there. So these are relating to initiatives. Initiatives are of two kinds, as I said. One is qualification type and second one is assessment, but here there are none. So let's see if at all any expired ones. Over here you see this expired one qualification is there. So if you click on this particular environment questionnaire, it's a qualification sent to this supplier, but it has expired on this particular date. And you see these were the questions asked from the supplier. The response, associated response, and if at all any attachments are there are shown over here. The response date in which this particular supplier has responded is also listed over here, right? Any comments associated with the response is also shown over here, right? You can see the response history from this particular tab if at all there were multiple responses over here. Okay, so now I'm going to click on done button. So that was the supplier qualification side, and there was something else also. There is a manage questionnaire. So that is another view for the questionnaire under which this supplier has participated, and you see there are a number of questions which are listed over here, right? And what is the status of that? So whether it is started, any response due date. The supplier can also view the PDF by clicking on this particular link. So let's say this one. So a PDF would be downloaded like this. You can open the PDF and you can see what's going on. So this is something from France legal entity, and in French it is all the questions which are given over here. So if the supplier doesn't have access to supplier portal, the buying organization can either email this to the supplier, and you see right from here the supplier can hit the respond button to respond to a specific question like this. Okay, and then they can change the sections one by one like this. So let's go to the third one. Okay, these are all blanks out here. So if I say something like some text, and that is what I'm gonna copy and paste it into every question over here. So these are like manual response, and then I go to the fourth one. Okay, looks like the value has to be some kind of a number. Okay, so let's say something like this. I'm just giving some random text over here for demonstration. Okay, and I will try to save it. Looks like right. So all these are numbers. Now let's save it. There's some exception over here. Okay, you see now the progress is all done. You can review everything to make sure there are no more questions which are left. And once you're done, you can simply hit the submit button to submit your response. Okay, looks like there are some related questions are there as well. Now I have to look into that. I'm unable to understand. You see there are related questions. Can you see that? Now, I don't know whether it's a numeric format or not. Okay, so I will simply enter something just to have this completed. I'm unable to understand what's written over here because it is in French language, right? Let's see if I save it now, submit now, what comes up. Now you see this questionnaire is now submitted, right? And this question is 40201. Okay, I'm going to copy that, and once again I'm going to click on that. The buyer organization may not be the one that we have it, so you see it is owned by another personnel from the procurement department under the French business unit called as Marc Grande. Alright, so by this time a notification would have been sent to Marc Grande that this particular supplier from Dell Inc. has submitted the questionnaire for a title revenue annual. Okay, then you hit the done button as a supplier, and then you come out of this supplier. So this basically this is the supplier's point of view as far as the supplier qualification management is concerned. But in the supplier portal there are many other things, as you could see, from the sourcing or negotiations point of view. Then this auctions also comes under sourcing side. Then they can also see the supplier profile under company profile. They can also see the deliverables, and again deliverables could be associated with sourcing or contracts. Then you also see areas related to supply chain side, your purchase orders, your blanket purchase or contract purchase agreements, your shipments. Those shipments could be associated with purchase orders, like advance shipment note is also called as ASN. You can manage the shipments, you can view the receipts associated with the shipments, and any returns which are sent back from the supplying organization are also shown over here in view returns, right? So I'm gonna leave all this, and this part is for invoices and payment side. All the invoices that the supplier, he can create the invoice against a purchase order or without a purchase order and submit to the buying organization, then can view those submitted invoices and also see the associated payments process for those invoices. So that's what is the supplier portal. In summary, we'll view details of supplier portal as a part of my separate course in Oracle Fusion Cloud Supplier Portal, but at the moment that's all from the supplier point of view as far as Oracle Fusion Cloud Supplier Qualification Management is concerned.